Greetings, fellow Ravens fans. Baltmatrix here, and today we're taking a look at Transformers Cyberverse Deluxe Class ARCEE. This is specifically from Transformers Cyberverse Bumblebee Adventures. I picked this figure up over at the Big Bad Toy Store. Unfortunately, Thunder Howl, or as I like to call him, Robo-Dougie, was out of stock and sold out. So I could only get this, and I'm only needing Thunder Howl to complete my Macadam, which I can't find the other pieces of, but who cares? The figure's pink and powder blue all work incredibly well. It's a really nice looking figure in robot mode. I wish there was a little bit more definition in the head sculpt, but it works. I am thankful that Hasbro decided to actually paint her similarly to the way she's shown in the show, though I kind of thought that there was a little bit more line definition for the different levels around her head. And nothing I can't fix with a panel lining marker myself. The figure's overall aesthetic is good, except for the backpack. I'll comment on that in just a minute. And it stands with no problem, and that's thanks to these gigantic heels sticking off the back of her feet, which I really do appreciate. It's too bad that other RCs that are coming down the line don't have that. The figure's posability isn't the best in the world due to the backpack, but all of the joints are nice and tight. Head is on a ball joint, but it kind of gets stuck because of the backpack. And I have noticed that on my figure, the ball joint has a little bit of a crease on it, so she isn't looking straight forward all the time. It just kind of pops over to the side. Not a big deal. Ball joint in the shoulder, nice and tight. Swivel just below the shoulder. 90-degree bend at the elbow. No fist articulation. Legs can kick forward pretty darn far at a full 90 degrees. Don't try to kick them back. Knees bend well over 90 degrees thanks to the transformation, and there is a swivel just above the knee. So you can pull off some decent poses for this figure. Oh, and I forgot, there are tilts, or there is a pin running through the feet, so you do have ankle articulation side to side. Now, one thing that I'm very impressed with this figure is everything is tight. And I do mean everything. Like every joint, every pin, except the wheels, are all tight. The pins in the knees are pretty tight, and a lot tighter to other figures that I've gotten recently. It's a joy. It is a joy to get a hold of a figure that has pins that are tight. Everything about this figure is tight, and that means you can get some good poses out of it. And I've able to mimic the pose that is in the stock footage with no problem. Now, ARCEE comes with a couple of accessories, first of which is the axe, hammer, spiky thing that is used by Macadam. And she also comes with directions, obviously, and then Macadam's shoulders. Whoop-de-doo. Now, the other accessories she comes with are these flames. And the flames would be cool if they weren't curved for some reason. I have no idea why. The plastic that they are packaged in isn't curved, yet these are very, very sharply curved. They do peg in to her gun in robot mode, yet they look absolutely ridiculous being curved. It's more like Wolverine claws than anything else. I'm sure I could fix this with some just leave these things in some boiling water, or just get a really, really heavy book and kind of flatten them out. And, I mean, you can just kind of move them with their fingers, but as you can see, they curve back on their own. And if I peg them in and have them, pointing next to each other, well, that just looks silly, doesn't it? Now, I've always had the feeling that ARCEE is more of a giant cannons and big hammers type of gal, and that was definitely proved in Season 3 if you've seen it. ARCEE stands at the same exact height as pretty much all the other figures. If we take off the crown from Grimlock, you can see they're the same height. Actually, she might be just a smidge taller at the backpack. Yeah, the coloring works, the posability works, and the height works. It's really good robot mode. Except for the backpack, which actually I don't mind that much. Now, the reason I don't mind the backpack all that much is quite simply it's part of her character design. If you look on TF Wiki, they have a picture of her, actual character design, and it has a backpack down over her lower parts. So it's part of the character design. So I don't mind it that much, as opposed to, say, something like, oh, I don't know, a Generations figure or a certain Masterpiece figure. One, this RC, not sexualized much. Two, the backpack is part of her character design. Three, the backpack doesn't need to come off. Four, she can stand just fine. So, yeah, I would say this is a superior figure to those other two. I haven't gotten a hold of either of them yet, but I'm just going to call it now because I really do like this RC quite a bit. RC's transformation is pretty easy, but there are a couple of twists that I didn't expect. To start off with, just come down to the feet and fold the feet and the heels up into the hollow legs. In this case, the hollowness of the legs is necessary. And kind of just take the arms and just kind of put them out to the side. Grab the backpack and the lower part of the backpack and pull it all the way up like that, and then flip out the rear wheels, like so. Next, at the top of the backpack, kind of push it back so you can flip up the front of the car mode, and then rotate the entire car section over her front of the car section over her head like that. Then take the upper or the lower backpack and push it down until the front windscreen or windshield is all connected in one smooth piece. Then this will give you the shell that the rest of the figure will roll up into. But before we do that, come to the back and unhinge the rear wheels out once and then fold them down again, and then just kind of leave them there in a weird angle. Come down to the robot legs, fold them at the heels up into the butt and the back of the figure, and then the very tips of the toes will peg into these little grooves that are in the middle of her back. Then we can fold the entire section up into the car mode. Shell, yes, she is a shell former. Put her wrists and forearms, peg them into just underneath where I would assume the door would be, and then just kind of tweak the rear of the car mode and peg them into the wrists, and that's it. That's the car mode. Now, one cool thing you could do, take the gun and peg that into the front of the vehicle mode like this. Don't do it very tightly, though, because if you do, it becomes next to impossible to get this stupid gun out of that peg. It's really hard. It's not impossible. It's just really hard. And here's the car mode. Little, pink, awesome. I like it. I like the car mode quite a bit. It does a great doot-to-do, and it looks like a Cybertronian car. It really does, and it very much resembles her original car mode from Generation 1, though modernized nicely. Even though the car mode feels small, it's exactly the same size as the other cars in the line. In fact, it's a little taller than both Bumblebee and Hot Rod. And honestly, you wouldn't really think she transforms into a robot mode just based on the car mode, unless you looked underneath. Yeah, there's a robot under there. Oh well. Now, in the car mode, you can use her flames, and they can plug into the back of the vehicle mode. And one cool thing is that the actual pegs are heptagons. Heptagons? Septagons? Hexagons? Once you peg them in, though, they look silly. So you could turn it up, and you can point them up, and then it makes the car mode look like it's got two flame tails. Or two Wolverine things. Vroom, wah! Oh, it's so stupid. I really wish these things were straight, but what are you going to do? Overall, I'm rather happy with this. I honestly did not think I would like this ARCEE figure at all, but I do. I really do. I do worry about its longevity because I feel that these pieces of plastic, these thin pieces of plastic back here, could break someday, but overall, I'm not too worried about it. It's not that big a deal. This is a pretty good RC figure. Yes, the aesthetic is not perfect, not gonna lie there. And yes, it's a bit chunky when we get down to it, especially due to the backpack. But again, that backpack is part of the character design, so I'm not really sweating it really at all. And the figure's fun. It's a fun figure. It's just neat. It's fun. It stands well, and it comes with good accessories. And it's totally worth having in your collection, especially if you're collecting the Cyberverse figures. I would love to see a slightly larger version of this, maybe a Studio Series Voyager class figure that hides the backpack or has the backpack fold up a little better. That's it. That's the only real difference. Okay, maybe some wrist swivels. Those are the only improvements I can think of. It's a fun figure. And this is probably the best rendition of ARCEE, the character, we've ever gotten. She is so much fun to watch on the show, and she's just cool. So, yeah, if you can, pick this figure up. Cyberverse doesn't get enough love. The show is absolutely great, and I wish it got a 4th season. Unfortunately, it's not, so the 3 seasons we've got are pretty darn good. So give the show a watch over on YouTube. Head over to the link down in my description to the Big Bad Toy Store to pick this figure up for yourself. And be sure to follow me over on Twitter and Patreon, because Lord knows I just need more followers. Thank you so much for watching. I have been Baltmatrix, and I'll catch you next time. I love the fact that she can ride a Grimlock with no problems whatsoever. That's a bonus. Well, here's your obligatory sexy pose. She has her own portable chair, so that's not nothing. I tried to do the sassy, sexy pose that Masterpiece ARCEE does, and I think this actually works better than the Masterpiece figure could do. Alright, I'm just going to try and go through all the different poses for ARCEE Masterpiece and compare them to this ARCEE and just see what happens. Let me know what you think down in the comments. Thanks for watching. Bye.